Hi, I'm Alex. Today we're going to talk about something that I almost feel like we kind of try and ignore as writers, or maybe we don't like to admit, and that's we start writing a story and we find we just really don't like it. And I don't just mean don't like it, like borderline hate these things. First and foremost, before I get into it, obviously, as always, these are all my opinions and just but don't feel bad if you start writing a story and you find you just can't stand it. I'm going to go over a few things that can either help you figure out why you don't like your story or how to help or, just general helpful hints. Obviously, the first thing when you find yourself disliking your story is to figure out why. Most of the time, there's a reason why we don't like something we're writing. Maybe we just don't like a character. Obviously, when you're writing villains and stuff, a lot of the time they're not great people, and that's understandable. But maybe we don't like one of the MCs we started writing. Or maybe we find a side character or someone in the story who's just, they're not the cute kind of annoying that you want around. Maybe we wrote ourselves into a corner, and because we can't see how to get out of it, we become overly frustrated with our story. Do you not like part of the plot? I know there have been a few stories that I have started to write that as I delved deeper into them, I realized that either part or the entirety of the plot was something I just didn't like. It either didn't make sense or it just didn't really suit what I wanted the story to be. Maybe your story is just taking so long to write that it's frustrating. Because it's taking so long to write, it feels off, either because you're not used to your stories taking that long, or maybe it feels within the story itself like it's dragging and you're not sure how to fix it. The next thing, once you've identified the problem, is to figure out if it is a problem you can fix. For example, if you don't like a character, you can change the character or just straight up remove them. If you don't like your MC, and for anyone who's new to writing, MC means main character. If you don't like your MC, you can always change them. They're your characters. Say, for me personally, I tend to find over rebellious. Now, I like a rebellious character, don't get me wrong, but there's a line where they're over rebellious. If I find my character is crossing that line, I can then either retroactively go back and remove some of that, or I can, where I am at in the story, I can stop, change it, and then just make a note to go back in edits and fix that. There is no reason that anything in your story can't be changed wherever it is in the story. Just make sure to leave a note that says, hey, I made this change. When you go back to do edits, fix the rest of it. If you find yourself written into a corner, I know a lot of people will just be like, work through it, or you need to go back and replot for that. But another option, if you really just can't figure out how to get out of it, stop, take a few minutes, and then move on to just be like, all right, put out some brackets that go, figure this out, move on to the next scene. You never, ever, ever need to allow yourself to become so frustrated with a part of your story that you don't want to even be working on it. Trust me, even if you're a professional writer, and I think most professional writers need to listen to this piece, and that's that writing is not the thing you should be getting upset over. Like, writing should not be that serious. And I know there are a lot of professional writers that would be like, no, it is that serious. It's a business. That's fine. It's a business. There is a difference between taking your writing seriously and going to the extreme on it. You don't need to go to the extreme. Just stop whatever it is, go on to the next scene. It's done. Just come back to that later. Maybe when you write the next couple of scenes, you'll come up with an idea of how to fix it, or you'll just go back in edits and change it to work. It doesn't need to be something that makes you angry at your story. If it's a plot issue, which it happens, you have a couple of options. One, you could decide, all right, I am going to stop working on the drafting phase, go back and replot this thing, and then either start drafting again or however you want to proceed from there. Or what you could do is just be like, if you already know the change you want to make, you could theoretically just, wherever you are in your story, make the change, leave a note to yourself, and just keep going. If the issue is you're getting frustrated with how long it's taking you to write, as someone who does not write quickly, and I mean this, as someone who has been doing sprints and writing about 100 words, no matter whether it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes, I get it. Slow writing is frustrating. But to be fair, any writing is better than no writing. But if you are actually getting that frustrated because of how long it's taking, honestly, I suggest just taking a break. Whether that be a temporary break of 15, 20 minutes a day, or maybe go work on a different project for a little while and then come back to this one. That's sometimes what ends up happening is your brain will hyperfocus, or at least my brain will hyperfocus on a story. And because that's all I can really think about, it kind of creates this, I guess, feedback loop. Basically, it's my mind stops coming up with a bunch of ideas, and because of that, I can't really figure out scenes and all the things that you need to write your story. And I end up needing to do is either go work on a short story, go work on an art project, just something else. And inevitably it clears up and I can get back to writing what I'm working on. Now, if none of that works, you still hate your story. Sometimes you really just hate a story. And in which case, you have two options. You can bin the whole thing and just be like, you know what? This story is not going to get written. It's just not going to happen. And you know what? As bad as that may feel at the time, sometimes it happens. Your other option is to put it on the back burner. Just set it aside. Be like, you know what? This isn't happening right now. I like the idea, but nothing else about it works. Maybe you're just not ready to work on that story, and that's okay. Either way, we're writers because we enjoy writing. And much like I say with pretty much anything I do, what is the point of doing it if I don't enjoy it? Because as frustrating as writing can be for me sometimes, I still enjoy doing it. If I didn't enjoy doing it, why would I put myself through that? And that really is what it boils down to. Is whatever is making you dislike your story something you can fix and work through and you still enjoy your story? Or is it just something you need to let go of? Obviously, no one can really answer that for you. With any luck, some of what I've said today could help you figure that out. And maybe your story doesn't get written right now, but maybe it will someday. In the meantime, you could write some really cool short stories, or maybe a completely different type of novel altogether. Have you guys ever been really frustrated by something you're writing? Did you find any ways that you could get through that frustration, or did you just have to put your story aside? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!